Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Classified Captures.
Steve here, and today we've got a wild lineup of clips ranging from never-before-seen clips of shadow creatures to strange UFO sightings that could make your jaw drop. Ready to have your mind blown? Well, let's dive right in. Starting today's episode, we got this woman who had a strange experience while applying mascara. She'd just drawn a little mascara on the corner of her lower lids when a black, inky-looking substance suddenly appeared in a lower eyelid. The strange part is, it didn't seem to come from the mascara. The substance showed up in the center of a lower lid, even though the mascara brush wasn't near that area. As she gently pulled at a lower eyelid, more of the black substance became visible, as though it was trapped under her eye. With every blink, it seemed to spread further into her eye. It's very unsettling to watch, and she uploaded the whole ordeal to our community to see if a paranormal being could be behind it. Some felt that was the case, whereas others felt she had probably applied a lot more than before she'd started filming. They're not sure if it's an intentional hoax or an accidental one. Some also feel she got an entity there with her, interfering with the process. I'm not sure what paranormal beings will gain interfering with a makeup application session, but what do you guys think? Moving on, we visit China, where scientists and researchers have developed a groundbreaking way to control a robot using a brain. And when I say a brain, I'm not necessarily referring to a human brain, but a lab-grown one. I mean, take a look at the robot. It moves on its own, and it's said to learn faster than traditional AI systems. In case you were wondering, here's how they made it work. The lab-grown brain is grown with a silicon chip. Through this chip, the brain sends and receives information, which is then processed by a biocomputer to bring the robot to life. The goal behind this technology is to create robots capable of performing hard labor. But if you think about it, this is eerily similar to humans doing the same work. After all, these robots now possess a level of consciousness that almost mirrors our own. I don't know about you, but how do you feel about this? This clip is something you don't see every day. Why? Because it's footage that allegedly comes from inside a prison. A prisoner had been repeatedly complaining, begging for his cell to be changed because they were bothering him. His concerns were dismissed as tantrums or attempts to get special treatment until this footage surfaced. In the video, however, you can see the man gripping the prison bars visibly uneasy, but the real shock is what's happening behind him. A dark figure can be seen crawling on the ground, moving unnaturally like some kind of creature. The prisoner was supposed to be alone in that cell, so what exactly is that thing? Some in the community think it's demonic. It's hard to disagree with them if this clip is truly genuine. But what do you also think? A mother was in her room with her young daughter when the little girl suddenly said she could see someone in the closet. Take a look at their interaction.
Boy.
What's he wearing?
He's wearing superhero clothes.
Where's he at?
I don't know.
The daughter described the figure as a superhero. When they went into the closet to investigate, the little girl insisted it was a woman in a dress, but the mother couldn't see anything.
Where's he at? What color is he?
He's red.
He's white?
He's red.
He's red? What?
Now, we all know that kids have vivid imaginations, especially when it comes to imaginary friends or made-up scenarios. But what makes this situation eerie is how firmly the little girl stood by her description, pointing out details without hesitation.
Okay, let's go. Okay. Where is he?
It's just a girl. It's a girl.
It's a girl?
Yeah, see, it's not scary. It's not scary.
The mother, however, believes her daughter might actually be seeing ghosts or has some sort of sensitivity to the paranormal, but given she can't see it herself, it's quite hard. So what would you do in her stead as a mother? Would you agree with the child, or would you dismiss the whole thing?
And her white legs.
Okay.
And her red dress.
Okay.
Throughout history, there have been records of dark humanoid creatures. They're mostly known as shadow people, but no one really knows if they're real or just a figment of our imagination. However, these shadow people have been caught on camera in various situations. Take this first video, for example. A security camera captures a shadowy figure crossing the street. A car drives straight through it and the driver slams on the brakes, panicking, thinking he's hit someone. But there's no one there. This second clip is from a hotel hallway. A child-sized shadow entity darts out from a corner toward a cart and vanishes back to where it came from. It's so fast that you could almost miss it. Now look at this third video. A girl notices her dog acting strange, barking and running around the room. Then, a shadowy figure appears chasing the dog. There are countless theories about shadow people. Some people believe they're the spirits of the dead lingering in our world. Others think they're demons. Some even call them tricksters who mess with people in their homes. And then, some believe they're harbingers of death, and seeing them could mean someone is about to die. So what do you think? Are shadow people real? And if they are, what could they truly be? And why are they appearing to some people and not others? A cowgirl from Texas shared a chilling and unforgettable experience she had in her stables. She was wrapping up her evening routine, making sure the animals were secure and everything was in place for the night. That's when she saw something that froze her in her tracks. It was a man on horseback riding through her wooden arena. The footage she captured is startlingly clear despite it being sundown. You can make out the black horse and the rider dressed in a long-sleeved white shirt. But here's the eerie part. Both the man and the horse were completely transparent like apparitions. They looked ghostly. When she shared this footage, people were stunned. The majority believed she had encountered a ghost, perhaps the spirit of a cowboy who used to work at the stables. But one theory that got me is that it was an alternate reality. What if this cowgirl accidentally got a glimpse into a parallel universe, one where this man owns her stables? What do you think about that? A passenger on a plane shared this footage that has everyone talking. In the video, a strange craft is seen flying by the plane. It looks like a stingray, except it's solid like a craft. Some people believe it's just a high-tech drone, while others are convinced it's a UFO. The unique shape and the way it moves fuel the alien theories. Skeptics, however, are saying it could easily have been staged or edited. The clip is oddly short and doesn't provide much context, leaving many wondering if this is just a clever hoax. But you've seen it, so what do you think? Here is a chilling encounter someone shared from their stay at a hotel. This person had booked a room and was casually exploring the place because, well, why not? While checking out the bathroom, they noticed some blue glass walls along one side. You couldn't see through them, so they didn't think much of it at first. Then, as they started opening the closet doors, the first one was empty and so was the second. But then something caught their eye. It was a seam in the wood, so they slid their keycard into the gap to pry it open, and to their shock, the panel revealed a hidden passage. This passage ran behind the blue glass wall, but that was not all. There was another door within, and when they opened that, it led to what appeared to be a dark, cave-like space. The walls and atmosphere felt completely different from the hotel, as if it belonged to another place entirely. The darkness stretched deep. He felt unsafe, so he wisely chose not to venture further. What if someone could use this secret passage to sneak into your room? Would you even know? Not sure how to feel about this one, but do well to stay vigilant when staying in unfamiliar places, folks. And if you can, always stay at reputable hotels. What you're looking at is a groundbreaking invention. It's a new type of bandage, an electronic bandage to be exact. It was created by scientists from North Carolina University in Korea. This high-tech bandage is water-activated and designed to speed up the healing process. This is how it works. The bandage uses electric fields to stimulate tissue repair, speeding up the healing of chronic wounds by as much as 30%. Chronic wounds, like those caused by diabetes or pressure sores, can take a long time to heal, but this innovation could be a game-changer. It's fascinating to see how far medical technology has come, and this could offer hope to millions of patients worldwide. What do you think of this invention? This footage allegedly comes from a village in the Dominican Republic. The villagers were drawn to a mysterious light shining on a lagoon. The strange light seemed to float on the surface of the water, and despite someone throwing a stick at the spot, the light remained steady and undisturbed. Here's the strange part. There was no visible source for the light, no flashlights, no equipment nearby, nothing that could explain it. The person filming even panned the camera around the area to double-check, and when they pointed it back at the lagoon, the light had vanished without a trace. It left everyone stunned. What do you think this could be? Julius thinks it's fake, but Aaron says it reminds him of an underwater UAP and sonoluminescence. We've covered both these topics in the past, so what say you? Some cave explorers captured this footage deep inside a Mayan cave. It's a striking statue of a man kneeling with his arms stretched out in front of him holding a white bird. At first, it might seem like just another artifact, but there's much more to it when you consider the history of these Mayan caves. Mayan caves were often considered sacred portals to the underworld known as Xibalba. These spaces were believed to be spiritual gateways where rituals, sacrifices, and ceremonies took place to communicate with the gods. The statues pose with the offering of a bird, and it's a symbol often associated with freedom or a connection to the heavens. This may signify a plea or a tribute to the deities for peace, guidance, or balance. What makes it even eerier is how intact this artifact is, preserved through centuries in such an isolated and mysterious environment. Two friends were out at sea in Miami when they noticed something strange on the horizon. It was an odd, floating shape with light surrounding it. The object was hard to identify, and opinions were divided on what it could be. Naturally, they uploaded their discovery to one of the paranormal communities where it spread thanks to the debates that emanated from it. Some suggested it might be a cruise ship, but the lights, how do you explain the lights? I'm not sure I'm the only one who sees that it looks like a fish, right? I'm not sure if cruise ships do this, but many in the community didn't think so. They believed it could be an illusion, such as a fata morgana, which is a phenomenon where lights bend to create mirage-like images over water. It's hard to say if this is a cause for worry or just a cruise ship. Can those of us with expertise in the field confirm this for us?
That looks like the cruise ship flipped over and it's shaped as a fish now.
It wasn't even Halloween when a driver captured this eerie sight on the side of the road. It was a horseman, but here's the chilling part. The rider had no head. Yes, a headless horseman riding by the roadside. Not sure about you, but I do find this image creepy, and while the headless horseman has long been a legend in folklore, most famously from the legend of Sleepy Hollow, this sighting happened randomly and out of season, and it's unsettling. What do you think? Is this a well-executed prank or something much more bizarre? Aaron, the conspiracy theorist, suspects it might be. If he's skeptical about it, no need to bring Julius into the picture because we know what he might say. But what about you guys? What say you? There's a theory out there that the world is controlled by secret elites who run banks and major industries. Some say these powerful figures operate in the shadows, serving darker forces. Someone recently shared an eerie observation involving euro banknotes. They held up the notes to a mirror, and what appeared between the money and its reflection shocked them. Faces formed, one resembling a snake, another similar to the first, and the last one looked like a bull. These animals are often tied to conspiracies about the Illuminati or shadow elites who were believed to serve sinister purposes. So what do you think? Could this be an intentional design hidden in plain sight, a mere coincidence, or just people finding patterns where there are none? There's a cosmetic procedure gaining popularity, and it's called fractional CO2 laser treatment. This involves using lasers on the skin, and after the procedure, the skin often looks red, raw, and sore. Just take a look at this, but as the skin heals, it tightens and rejuvenates, giving a more youthful appearance. The treatment works by creating tiny wounds on the skin, which triggers the body to produce collagen and elastin, essential for healing and firming the skin. However, since when has anything involving lasers been 100% safe for humans, especially in the beauty industry where people mostly go beyond their limits? There's a risk of overdoing it. This is why we've seen cases of people ending up with deformed faces from excessive cosmetic procedures. What are your thoughts on this treatment? Is it worth the risk? A mysterious entity known as the Hat Man has been making the rounds lately. Descriptions of this figure are chilling. It's said to have a dark silhouette wearing a brimmed hat. Take a look at these various clips of the Hat Man captured by different people worldwide. What's fascinating is that those who encounter the Hat Man are rarely fully awake. Most sightings occurred during sleep paralysis, while others claim to see it in their rooms before it vanishes briefly. Now, this image is particularly eerie. The Hat Man was reportedly captured standing behind a woman in this photograph. Strangely, she passed away just a few days later. No one truly knows what the Hat Man is or what it represents. Could it be a harbinger of death, a manifestation of fear, or perhaps something else entirely? Do you have any encounters or stories involving this mysterious hatter? Please share in the comments section.
A bird is just sitting there.
Okay, for real. No, that's crazy.
It's just stuck in place.
A family spotted this bird flapping its wings furiously, but it just was not moving. It just hovered in the same spot as if stuck. After a while, it stopped, then flapped again and finally flew off. At first, it seemed like one of those strange glitches, but there's a simple explanation. And yes, Julius did give it to us. According to him, the bird was likely fighting a strong headwind, which is a gust of air blowing directly against it. Even though it was flapping, the wind matched its speed, so it couldn't move forward. To anyone watching, it looked like a bird that was frozen in mid-air. When it paused, the bird was likely regaining energy or adjusting its approach, and on its second try, it managed to push through the wind and fly away. So it's not a glitch, just nature at work.
The bird is just sitting there.
Okay, for real. No, that's crazy.
It's just stuck in place.
This eerie image surfaced on Reddit. It was shared by a family member who captured it during a camping trip. The family had gathered around a campfire, chatting and enjoying the night. No one reported feeling uneasy or noticing anything strange at the time. However, the next day, as the person who took the photo reviewed it, he noticed something, this figure of what appeared to be a soldier holding a musket. Let's zoom in for a closer look. The man who captured the image showed it to his relatives, and the discovery left the family in shock. Some believe this could be an ancestor who fought in the Civil War, given the uniform and musket. Others think it could simply be a wandering spirit drawn to the lively family gathering. What do you think about this photograph? A man uploaded a curious video to YouTube that has people scratching their heads. In the footage, there's a lone patch of clouds in the sky, but what makes it strange is the perfectly circular black ring hidden within the clouds. Now, we've seen various videos of black rings appearing in the sky, and those are often tied to theories about portals. But then there's the UFO cloaking themselves as clouds to avoid detection theory as well. So what category does this cloud fall under? Is it a natural phenomenon, evidence of something extraterrestrial, or just another mystery of the sky? This video was captured in Los Angeles, and it shows a mysterious glowing object in the sky. It's difficult to pinpoint exactly what it is. The glow seems otherworldly, almost like a portal or some kind of energy source. Some believe it could be a natural phenomenon, while others lean toward a man-made explanation like a drone or experimental technology. Of course, there's always the possibility that this could be something more extraordinary like a UFO or alien related. Take a good look and share your theory on what this strange glowing object in the Los Angeles sky might be. A mother shared a truly touching and mysterious experience she had during the ultrasound of her second child. In this first photograph, we see her father holding her first child, lovingly gazing down at the baby in his hands. Tragically, her father passed away and wasn't around for her second pregnancy. When she went in for an ultrasound of her second baby, the scan revealed something extraordinary. Take a closer look above the baby. There's an odd shape. Now compare that to the photo of her father holding her first child. The resemblance is uncanny, as if the shadow above the baby mirrors her father's face. The woman and her entire family were moved to tears by this discovery. It seems Grandpa had found a way to visit and meet his second grandchild after all. There are countless reports worldwide of people waking up to find strange grid-like rashes on their skin. These marks look as if they were stamped onto the body, yet the individuals have no memory of how they got there. But the paranormal community might have an explanation. These are often referred to as alien markings. Some people who claim to have been abducted by aliens report returning with similar patterns etched into their skin. What's more unsettling is that many who discover these marks don't even recall the abduction. They simply noticed the mysterious patterns one day. It's believed that aliens might mark their subjects for tracking or other unknown purposes. So if you ever find these grid-like markings on your body, especially alongside unexplained time lapses, you might have been abducted. Sounds crazy, but until we have a more grounded and rational explanation, it is what it is. I came across two intriguing clips from witnesses who were passengers on separate flights. The first clip is from California. As the plane ascended, a passenger looks out of the window and notices these small objects that look like crafts hovering or moving below. The second clip comes from a flight over the Gulf of Mexico, showing a similar sight of numerous small crafts or objects below. Both witnesses strongly believe these are UFOs, which isn't far-fetched given the history of UFOs and UAP sightings in America. But here's an alternative theory. Could these objects simply be large ships on the ocean, appearing unusual because of the perspective and altitude? Then again, the sheer number of these objects makes it hard to ignore the possibility of something more mysterious. What do you think?
Oh my god, dude. Look at this. Yeah, you gotta go head first. There you go. Don't look at me like that. I'm trying to help you. Oh my god, dude. I've never seen this.
In the Gulf of Mexico near Isla Morada, two boaters had an eerie encounter while out on the ocean. They came across something unusual, these vultures floating on the water. The birds appeared to have fallen from the sky, their wings soaked and heavy, forcing them to remain calm to avoid drowning. One of the men managed to pull a few of the birds from the water and set them safely back on land. But the real question is, what could have caused this? Why would so many birds fall out of the sky in the middle of the ocean? Could it be related to exhaustion, weather conditions, or something more mysterious? What do you think is going on here?
Hey! Lock in, twin! Alright. Oh, happily released. There's a bunch of them in there. The ones on there, though. Yeah, just...
A young woman was traveling and had booked a hotel for the night. Upon arriving, she took a picture of her room to send to her loved ones, letting them know she was safe. But then one person noticed something chilling in the photograph. In the corner of the image was part of a mirror. When they zoomed in, they noticed a pale, ghostly face of a little girl with glowing eyes staring back at her. The woman insists she didn't see or feel anything unusual while in the room, but the discovery left her so unsettled that she checked out the very next day and found a different place to stay. Hotels are strange places. You never know who was in the room before you or what events might have happened there. Perhaps it wasn't just the room, but the mirror itself that held something eerie. What do you think? This woman happens to be a particle physicist working at CERN in the UK. Yeah, CERN, the organization behind the Large Hadron Collider. She shared something intriguing on TikTok. Take a listen to what she had to say.
Between the 21st and the 25th of January, there is going to be a beautiful display of the planets all lining up in the night sky. And I just really want to pass the message on that CERN, with the Large Hadron Collider that was used to discover the Higgs boson, we are off right now. We are not running. So anybody who might have gotten slightly over enthusiastic when the solar eclipse happened in North America, the Large Hadron Collider is not running. We are off. Nothing, anything that you think happens has nothing to do with us. Okay, thanks.
Now, this is quite odd. She felt the need to post a video warning us about a celestial display happening between January the 21st and January the 25th. This display will be the alignment of all the planets visible in the night sky. What makes this even stranger is that she emphasized that she shared the information early, fearing the potential TikTok ban in the US, so everyone could know about it. Oddly enough, she specifically stated that CERN's Collider has been taken offline, implying that whatever happens in the skies during this alignment is not connected to CERN. For those unfamiliar, CERN has long been at the center of conspiracy theories. Many accuse it of opening portals or even contributing to alien arrivals on Earth, especially after their discoveries involving dark matter. But for someone working directly at CERN to proactively say, "This isn't our fault," before the event even occurs, well, that's very suspicious. Don't you think?
So anybody who might have gotten slightly over enthusiastic when the solar eclipse happened in North America, the Large Hadron Collider is not running. We are off. Nothing, anything that you think happens is nothing to do with us. Okay, thanks.
Around the world, there are countless cave systems and tunnels that remain unexplored, waiting in the dark. One such cave a group of men were working on when one of them decided to toss a rock into a massive crack in the ground. As the stone fell, there was an eerie silence, an unnervingly long one, before they finally heard a distant boom signaling that the stone had reached the bottom. This shows just how deep these caves might go beneath the surface. But the real question is, how far do these networks underground extend? And more intriguingly, what could be lurking in the depths? I came across this footage on TikTok. A man driving through Coral Springs, Florida, spotted something unusual in the sky and decided to pull over to film it. It was a dark figure floating in the sky. It looks like a jellyfish UFO with tentacle-like shapes swaying in the wind. Naturally, this strange sight left a lot of people shocked and intrigued. However, one commenter claimed the mysterious object was actually a kite. He said he'd seen the real thing before, and it can look pretty eerie when viewed from a distance, especially against the sky. Now, I'm not saying jellyfish-like UFOs could exist. After all, many strange sightings have been reported over the years. But it's also possible that someone is releasing massive odd-shaped balloons or kites just to stir people up, especially with the current UFO buzz. What do you think? Speaking of UFOs, let's take a look at this peculiar footage. It's said to be classified footage, supposedly showing a recovery operation of a UAP that had crash-landed. We don't know exactly when or where this took place, but let's dive in. The footage appears to be filmed from inside a helicopter looking down at a line about 150 feet long, attached to a cradle holding an egg-shaped object. This object is believed to be the UAP. Watch as the crew carefully places it on the ground, observing how it rolls slightly once settled. This is the first time I've ever seen or heard of an egg-shaped UAP, and I'm not gonna lie, it's confusing footage. But what are your thoughts? Is this genuine classified footage of a UAP recovery, or is it just an elaborate hoax?
Seen snow before. Y'all, I've never seen snow before. I'm just waking up, sorry y'all. What is this stuff? What? That snow, is it real? What is this? Look at this shit.
Climate change has been a pressing issue for humanity over the years, and it seems we keep hearing more and more about its effects. Temperatures are becoming increasingly unpredictable, with some places experiencing extreme shifts, one example being New Orleans. Take a look at these two clips shared by residents of New Orleans. They woke up to snow. Yeah, snow. Snow is something unheard of in this hot and humid region. The last time they experienced snowfall was back in 2004, over 20 years ago. Now the area is blanketed in snow. Just look at this man's reaction. It's pure shock and excitement. But is this strange weather event connected to climate change, as many believe? One commenter had an interesting take, claiming it's got nothing to do with climate change, but it's part of how the Earth resets itself every 2,500 years. While that theory might not have scientific backing, it's still something to think about. Don't you agree?
I've never touched like snow and like walked in it before. Like, is this legal? Is this legal in Louisiana to do this?
Some observers noticed something strange about a tree standing out in the tree line. At first glance, nothing seems off, but focus on that particular tree. Unlike the others, it's the only one moving and its color appears slightly out of place. Let's analyze the footage using different filters to get a clearer look. See that? Just this one tree behaves differently, almost as if something is hiding within it. Some believe it could be a spy tree engineered for surveillance, while others suggest it might contain a portal or some other mysterious phenomenon. Oh, and yeah, they also think it might be Bigfoot, but what say you? Take a look at this bizarre photograph of a hermit crab that has decided to use a doll's head as its shell. It looks like the crab has a human head, and honestly, it's equal parts creepy and fascinating. Hermit crabs are known for using whatever they can find as a protective shell, but this choice, well, it's straight out of a horror movie. Imagine stumbling across this on your beach. What would you think? I came across this intriguing video of a man passionately ranting about the moon, and it got me thinking. Take a listen to what he has to say.
Wouldn't it be crazy if it's much easier to explain the non-existence of the moon than its existence? That's not me, by the way. That's a NASA scientist. So yeah. And wouldn't it be crazy if to this day, scientists around the world have no consensus on how the moon was actually formed? It'd be kind of crazy if moon rocks and soil samples from the moon don't really make any sense, because soil on the surface is older than the soil beneath it. Furthermore, like every other planetary object, it gets denser towards the core. The moon, it's reversed. The density is higher on the surface. All the craters on the moon appear to be like the same depth. It's almost like the moon has this metallic shield covering it or something. And I guess it would be crazy if the Apollo 12 crew purposely detached a landing pod and crashed it into the moon, and the moon rang like a bell. This is according to the astronauts, and it vibrated for over an hour, like it was hollow or something.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. He points out several peculiar things about the moon scientists are still uncertain about: how the moon was formed, how the surface material of the moon is older than the material beneath it, and how the moon's density seems to be reversed compared to what we'd expect. And he raises so many other logical and thought-provoking points. It's almost as if there's more to the moon than meets the eye. What aren't they telling us? The idea that the moon could be some kind of advanced space structure, or even a spaceship, oddly makes more sense when you consider these points. What do you think? Could there be more to the moon than what we've been taught?
And I guess it'd be crazy if there's ancient cultures that talk about a time before the moon was in the sky. So I guess what I'd be saying is it'd be kind of crazy if the moon was actually a hollowed out space ship, alien spaceship or satellite.
This footage was captured on Miami Beach and shows two strange lights in the sky, one above the other. As you can see, there are quite a few people on the beach, all filming the mysterious sight. What makes this even more intriguing is that there's no official information about any rocket launches or other events that could explain the lights. So what do you think this is? Could it be a UFO, or is there more earthly explanation for this unusual phenomenon? A group of fishermen were out on a boat near Zlobin, Belarus, when they noticed something unusual. There was a swarm of insects on the water's surface. To prove just how bad this was, they took off their caps and held them just over the water as the boat moved. When they showed the caps to the camera, they were filled with a thick cluster of insects. According to them, residents of the area have also been complaining about how insects have invaded their bus stations and playgrounds. This sudden surge of mosquitoes raises the question, what could be breeding these creatures in such large numbers? No one had answers, at least according to the one who made the post. One commenter, however, suggested that it might be mosquito season, as it is in the US and Canada, which could explain the increase. Others thought he was making a fuss over nothing, since it's not unusual to find bugs over lakes. But what do you think? Could there be other factors at play, or is it just a seasonal occurrence? A man in Thailand was out one night when he saw something odd in the sky. Take a look.
It's not a glitch in my phone. I'm zooming in. It's shining, doing something. And as far as I know, it's not a building. I don't know, guys. It's not a building. I know the buildings here. Look, this is my lighter. So this is this building. So it's very high. As far as I know, this is the highest building around here.
It was the strange glowing object that somewhat illuminated the night sky. The object kept changing colors in the sky, which is something you usually expect with fireworks when it comes to the sky. But this had nothing to do with fireworks. In fact, it was nothing he had seen before. Given how strange the thing looked, he had to reassure everyone who was watching the clip by telling them that it was not his phone glitching out. This was actually happening and he could see it with his own eyes. He asked everyone who was watching the clip if they'd seen that before, and if they had, to help him identify it. No one came out to say anything, of course, but the paranormal community was way ahead of them in terms of analysis and conclusion. They had concluded that this had to be a UFO. How else were they going to explain footage that shows an object pulsing and shifting colors in a way that seems almost otherworldly? It's very understandable. The phenomenon was too distinct and persistent to be easily explained away as a common occurrence or a technological malfunction. But then again, this is the internet era and people are capable of faking things. So what do you think? Could this be an authentic UFO sighting, or is there a more mundane explanation for this strange glowing object? Share your thoughts in the comments section.
Shining, doing something. And as far as I know, it's not a building. I don't know, guys. It's not a building. I know the buildings here. Look, this is my lighter. So this is this building. So it's very high. As far as I know, this is the highest building around here. And that thing is doing stuff, changing colors up there. I don't know. UFO. I don't know, guys. Anyone from Pattaya know what this is? Jomtien? Looks kind of weird to me. Standing very still.
Our next clip is footage taken from two guys in a car who were driving through a forest fire. As our daring duo navigates through the forest, flames dance menacingly on both sides, casting an apocalyptic glow on their surroundings. The heat intensifies within the confines of their vehicle, and the reality of being caught in the heart of a wildfire sets in. The tension in the car is palpable as one of the occupants expresses concern about the escalating temperatures.
Dog, we can't get out.
I'm getting out. You can't drive back. We get.
The inferno seems unyielding, and the prospect of escaping its clutches becomes increasingly daunting. In the face of such adversity, the men find themselves at a critical crossroads: to stay inside the relative safety of their vehicle or to brave the scorching surroundings outside. At the end of the footage, we're left in suspense. Did they emerge unscathed from this fiery ordeal, or did the relentless flames claim their victory? Next up, we got a man who was filming the night sky at an undisclosed location when something absolutely baffling occurred. Out of nowhere, an apparition of a figure dressed in a white robe with what looked like wings on its back appeared right above the electrical lines. As if that wasn't strange enough, the moment the figure showed up, the electrical currents began sparking along the wires, making a distinct zapping sound. This went on for a few seconds. Then, as mysteriously as it appeared, the figure vanished, and at that exact moment, the zapping stopped. Obviously, this isn't natural or normal, and all who saw the clip believed so. So what on earth was that? Was it some form of energy disturbance, or did we just witness something otherworldly? Many in the paranormal community are divided on what that being was. A small sect made up of Julius-like individuals believes the whole thing is a poorly designed hoax. Looking at the clip again, I get where they're coming from, but what do you guys think? The next one is this perplexing clip that has surfaced online, showcasing a woman defying gravity as she stands upside down on the side of a building.
Tweaking right now, real talk. I don't know what she's doing, but she got a lot in her mind, bro. It's weighing her down, real talk. God damn.
The footage has left viewers baffled, pondering the possibility of such a feat in the realm of physics. Upon closer inspection, however, it becomes evident that this display is not merely a physical marvel, but rather a product of digital manipulation. While the illusion is strikingly convincing, our in-house video editor believes this is more likely the result of advanced editing techniques rather than a demonstration of supernatural abilities.
She's tweaking right now, real talk. I don't know what she's doing, but she got a lot in her mind, bro. It's weighing her down, real talk. God damn.
Still on strange things in the sky, we move all the way to Kentucky.
There you go. Check it.
UFO, what is it?
Check it out. There it is. Beautiful. Scary at the same time.
You want my phone? You want phone?
Look at that.
A group of friends were out one night when they spotted something strange in the sky. There were two unusual celestial bodies. One was the moon, the other was a red planet-like object positioned behind it. This red planet-like thing in the sky looked pretty close to the Earth. Not only that, this red planet was also rotating, which is weird. The one recording was very sure and very convinced that he was looking at the planet Nibiru. There was further speculation that this planet could be the reason for the recent surge in UFO and UAP sightings. A few years ago, I would have jumped on the bandwagon and asked the government to tell the truth. But if this is true, and there was really a planet that large close to our planet, we could see it too, right? I mean, everyone would have noticed it. Aside from that, we wouldn't see it rotating like it is now, since our planet would also be rotating too. Unless, of course, this is rotating too fast. Don't even get me started on the damage the gravitational pull from both planets would cause. Based on this evidence, I, along with all the science whizzes out there, call hoax on this clip. If you think Julius taught me everything I am saying, you're right. If you also think I learned and told you everything because I am an innate genius, you're also right. But what do you think of the whole thing?
Now look at that. See this? Couldn't see it at first with my naked eye because I'm trying to look at the moon and the camera at the same time. Well, check that out. Look at that.
Our next footage is an interesting one. In the clip, someone takes a dead fingerling and dips it into the sand. Suddenly, a peculiar insect emerges from the sand, eagerly nipping at the fish. The observer swiftly seizes the creature with a pair of pliers, revealing a remarkable find. This is not an ordinary bug, this is a beachworm. Beachworms are marine worms that are often found in sandy coastal areas. They can range in size and appearance, with some species resembling long snake-like creatures. These worms are known for burrowing into the sand and may come to the surface when triggered by certain stimuli, such as the presence of food. Have you encountered any of these worms before? Care to share your experience? In this security camera video shared by a viewer from Barry, West Bromwich, England, we're introduced to something rather strange. A person wearing a reflective hoodie is jogging, and from the other side, a spooky figure appears. Both keep jogging, but the ghost-like figure disappears halfway through the recording. This was raw footage, so those thinking it's a hoax, it's not. We just witnessed a ghost jog by a house. These entities really are among us. Instances like these caught on camera without any manipulation spark contemplation about the supernatural and the possibility of entities existing alongside us. Another intriguing piece of footage has emerged, this time from a graveyard. What makes a graveyard so interesting, you ask? Well, there was smoke emanating from the area, yet there was no visible fire.
Вот еврейское кладбище в Дербенте. А вот это сразу загорелось.
The sight of smoke rising from a graveyard may naturally evoke thoughts of the supernatural. After all, who would be setting fires in a cemetery? However, one insightful commenter proposed a different perspective. It's possible that this mysterious smoke is not the result of nefarious activities, but rather a cultural practice. In some traditions, people light incense at graveyards as a means of warding off negative energy or paying respects to the departed. Let's hope that this explanation holds true and that the smoke is indeed the product of a benign ritual rather than something more sinister. Someone in the original post also made this comment. The thing here is, none of my team members can understand or translate, so we can't confirm or disprove this. If you can, we'd like to hear from you.
Вот еврейское кладбище в Дербенте. А вот это сразу загорелось.
Fish that looks like a fish but isn't a fish at all. Confused? Well, that's exactly what the Chinese government was expecting and counting on when they created what you are seeing on your screen.
可以，哎，这个可以，刚才这老师说了，就跟着去这个探测，看间谍嘛，看间谍，然后跑出去游完了再游回来，电能放多长时间啊？
Still confused? Believe it or not, that's a drone. Yes, a realistic underwater drone that has been designed and built in the form and shape of a fish. The developers of the drone state that its battery is capable of lasting for roughly 6 to 8 hours. If it had been developed by normal scientists, I would have said it was for research purposes, but given its military origins, it can only be one thing, or a couple of military-related things. Espionage, stealth missions, and other things I should definitely not be saying out loud. Someone on one of the platforms where this was shared made this profound statement. It does sound funny, but when you think about it, that's a possibility. Anyway, let's see what the future holds with this invention. But what do you guys think?
可以，哎，这个可以，刚才这老师说了，就跟着去这个探测。
This footage comes straight from the ISS, and it's truly baffling. Over the Earth, a cylindrical object was seen moving toward the camera. As it drew nearer, something truly astonishing occurred. The object seemed to vanish completely. One moment it was there, and the next it had simply disappeared into thin air. Just look at that. It's like it simply disappeared. Many believe this could be some sort of UFO, a craft that defies the laws of physics as we know them. Could this be evidence of extraterrestrial technology, or is there some other explanation? If anyone told me I was going to be seeing a creature that was half human and half cow when this clip started, I would have laughed, but here it is. I know what you're thinking. How is this possible? Well, I'm thinking the same, and the only culprit that comes to my mind right now is AI. I'm tempted to believe this was created by someone using one of the image generation tools. I could be wrong, but that's what I think. What about you? So, I've seen a lot of strange bird behaviors in my day, but never have I seen this. Believe it or not, that's a woodpecker, and it appears to be frozen in motion. Why? I wasn't exactly sure, and the comments section of the original post was crazy. Take a look at this comment. While this was funny, it didn't solve the mystery, so being the researcher I am, I had to do some research, and boy was it worth it. It turns out that there are woodpecker species that freeze whenever they're threatened. They can remain motionless against the trunk of a tree and will not return to normal activities for up to 10 minutes. It's possible that the woodpecker noticed the man and froze out of fear. Well, that's the only working hypothesis I have right now. Also, I felt this might be a downy woodpecker, but another person in my team states it looks like the lesser spotted woodpecker. I can't say for sure which it is, but the woodpecker experts here can help us. Either way, I'm glad I saw this clip because I learned something new. What about you? Believe me when I say I've seen some strange things in my day, but this next clip has me stunned. Take a look. First off, we're not told who recorded this clip, where they recorded it, and why they were recording in the first place. The only thing we know is they were exploring the depths and came across a creature that was trying to escape their light. If you look closely, you'll see this creature. The team noticed this and turned off the lights. After a few seconds, they turned the lights back on and saw this creature in its full glory. I've looked at the clip several times and can't seem to make it out. Some of my team members joked that it was Godzilla, but if that was indeed Zilla, the only thing we would have been finding of that vessel, if the clip is indeed real, was its black box. Anyway, can you guys help out with analyzing this? What do you see? Is this even real at all? I'll be reading your comments. If possible, start with the word analysis to make it easier to find. Thank you. Have you ever snapped a photo and then, when you looked at it later, noticed something in the background that completely escaped your attention at the time? Well, for this man, it took 40 years. After close to 40 years, he went through old photos he'd taken with his dad and siblings, then noticed something, or should I say something, he never noticed the day they took the pictures. There was an old lady in the background watching them. The reason why this is weird, according to him, is the fact that there was nobody there with them the day they took the pictures, yet somehow this woman shows up in the clip at the range they would have surely noticed her, and which has left them scratching their heads. Once the clip went up, people started coming up with theories ranging from it being a ghost to it being a skinwalker. What's strange is the fact that the channel responsible for posting the clip was suddenly deleted and the man never heard from again. Strange, huh? What in the world is going on here? A passerby was walking down a street filled with pigeons when something truly bizarre caught their eye. An iPad was lying on the ground and one pigeon seemed entirely fixated on it. But this wasn't just any ordinary scene. There was a strange black and white spiral pattern spinning on the iPad screen, almost like one of those hypnotic illusions. What's really eerie is that when the pigeon was completely mesmerized, standing still and staring at the screen without moving an inch, it's as if the pigeon was caught in a trance, unable to break free from whatever was happening on that screen. The sight of a bird so utterly captivated by a digital device is unsettling, almost as if the technology had taken control of its mind. Is this just a weird coincidence, or is something more sinister at play? A passenger on a plane flying over Nevada shared this fascinating footage of a light show on the ground below. At first glance, one might mistake these lights for luminous entities floating in the desert landscape. However, after a lot of digging around, I came across a comment that provided an alternative explanation. The individual stated that this was probably recorded just above the solar station in Nevada. If that's the case, then it would explain the light show. It would just be sunlight being reflected from solar panels on the ground. While the logical explanation seems plausible, the allure of mystery still lingers. Could there be more to these lights than meets the eye? With the desert's reputation for the unexpected, who's to say for certain? Most of the time, we say we're scared of ghosts, creatures, and cryptids, but we often forget that sometimes humans can be more terrifying than any other predator out there. In this chilling footage, a woman is seen opening her apartment door as the lights flicker. She looks up at the security camera above, perhaps sensing something amiss. As she opens the door, we see she has a young girl with her. They're just about to enter when suddenly a man rushes in, dragging the woman inside. Moments later, he comes back out and drags the child inside too. The video leaves us in suspense as we don't know what happened to them. At the end, you can see the woman's legs showing at the edge of the door, a haunting image that hints at something dangerous. Be safe out there. Humans can be the most dangerous creatures of all. A couple had just welcomed their baby girl, and like many new parents, they set up a camera in the nursery to keep an eye on her. The nursery door was always left slightly ajar just in case, but one night, while they were fast asleep, something terrifying unfolded on the monitor. In the dead of night, 3 loud thumps were heard. Then, without warning, the nursery door slammed shut with an eerie bang. Moments later, the same thumping sound returned, but that wasn't the worst of it. Out of nowhere, a dark, shadowy entity appeared over the crib where their baby was sleeping. The figure loomed ominously above her, its form shifting in the dim light. Then, as if deliberately, it moved the toy that had been resting at her feet in the crib. This chilling presence hovered for what seemed like an eternity before finally vanishing into thin air. What was that dark entity? A spirit, a shadow being, or something else entirely? There are old legends that speak of a massive monster slumbering deep beneath the earth, some kind of doomsday creature destined to rise and end the world. Most dismiss these as mere myths, but then there's this footage, which raises chilling questions. A man came across a strange opening in the ground, a structure that seemed to descend deep into the earth. Curious, he decided to toss a small stone into the hole and listen for what might happen next. At first, there was silence, just the faint sound of the stone falling deeper and deeper into the abyss. But then something happened. A loud, ground-shaking roar echoed from the depths. It wasn't the sound of the stone hitting something hard. No, this was different. It was a primal, guttural noise, almost as if a massive beast stirred below. If this is to be believed and the myths of old are true, then we can't help but wonder what lies beneath our feet and how long before it breaks free. Aaron has theories, and Julius thinks we're crazy. What about you? This man was holding a pale-faced mask with dark circles around haunting eyes and black lips. He had a face filter on, and as soon as he smiled, the mask also appeared to smile, giving it a terrifying expression. Just look at how freaked out the man is. Despite how terrifying it looks, many people are not convinced that this is real. It seemed that the face filter picked up the mask, which is why it appeared to smile. Technology can sometimes create eerie and unexpected results, adding a touch of the supernatural to our everyday lives. What do you think of this, and what would you have done if you saw a mask smile like that? A subscriber sent in an intriguing picture. They mentioned that a friend had discovered a strange-looking creature embedded in a rock. Creature appears to be a tiny humanoid with wings. The creature was dried up and stuck to one side of the rock, while the other rock had an outline of its shape. Based on everything science has taught us and discovered, there are no creatures like this. When we stepped away from science, however, this falls in line with what we could commonly refer to as a fairy. It must have been there for a long time, as the fairy-like figure was completely dried and preserved in the rock's imprint. While this sounds interesting, we can't ignore the elephant in the room. Is this really real, or is this an elaborate hoax meant to mislead us? Share your thoughts.
Ano ito? Oh my God! Ano ito? Litsi. Itakan mo ito lang. Look! Oh my word!
We've definitely seen our fair share of weird things in the sky, but what is this? Can anyone explain it to me? We see a massive, thick, black cloud or smoke, and through it we see flames shining. The strangest part is that it looks like some sort of gorilla structure descending toward the earth. I've never seen anything like this before. There's no small capture on a Trailcam. This is something huge. Huge things can barely be hidden. This has made even Aaron skeptical this is authentic. He thinks if something like this happened on the planet, it would be in mainstream media. Julius just thinks it's CGI, and I'm tempted to go with him on this one, but what do you guys think?
Ano ito? Oh my God! Ano ito? Litsi. Itakan mo ito lang. Look! Oh my word!
The expression two left feet has always been used to describe people like me who can't dance to save their lives. In our next clip, however, it's literal.
This shoe's still on the wrong foot. So then I do it again. What the
Yep, that's a young lad wearing two left shoes. Whenever he swaps the feet, one fits and the other doesn't. He repeated this several times, which led to him filming and uploading it online. I know what you're thinking. Why did he buy two shoes for the same feet? The thing is, he didn't. His shoes were pretty normal until they weren't. He put them on one day and they just wouldn't fit. This is why he uploaded it online. A part of him believes this whole thing is a glitch in the Matrix. Some who saw the clip shared the view. You've seen the clip. What do you think of it?
This shoe's still on the wrong foot. So then I do it again. What the
A woman recently realized something strange about her dog's eyes and decided to upload online seeking answers. Take a look. Someone in my team thought this was possession, but after a lot of teaching from Julius, the conclusion is that they looked glazed over. I feel it's important to note that the person was not me. Back to the dog. This phenomenon can apparently occur in dogs for various reasons, often related to health, age, or eye conditions. This image was, however, uploaded on one of our paranormal platforms and it has sparked a range of theories and arguments. Some people speculate that the glazed eyes might indicate something more sinister, such as a shapeshifter or skinwalker. These are creatures from folklore believed to have the abilities to transform into animals. Some also think the glazed appearance could simply be due to the woman shining a light directly into the dog's eyes, which can cause a reflective or glazed look. Now the question is, who's right, the speculators or Julius? Share your thoughts. These kinds of sightings are often attributed to the legendary Bigfoot. Given the sheer size of the prints, if they were made by a human, it would have to be an extraordinarily large individual. The depth and clarity of the impressions suggest that whatever made them was incredibly heavy, further adding to the intrigue. Many locals are convinced that these tracks are definitive evidence of Bigfoot, a creature of folklore that has captivated imaginations for generations. However, skeptics continue to argue that it could be a clever hoax or the result of natural phenomena. The size and shape of the prints, though, continue to baffle and fascinate everyone who sees them. What do you make of these colossal footprints? Could this be the elusive Bigfoot, or is there a more mundane explanation? In this clip, we're introduced to a scene that's set up in the great outdoors. For the first few seconds of the clip, we see nothing, but that soon changes when an unknown creature quickly moves through the dark. The individual who uploaded this is unable to tell what it is and is very scared. We're unable to also tell what exactly this creature is, but we think it's an animal and nothing to be particularly worried about. Unless there's something I'm missing. If there is, please let me know. As you know, we love to start our episodes with something grand and big, but today's clip is one that has me and everyone else scratching their head. Take a look. Right off the bat, you can tell that this clip looks like it's being recorded at the beach, but that does not make this weird. No. If you pay attention to the clip, you'll notice that there's something weird happening behind the waves, perhaps in the clouds. It looks like there's a colossal figure or being behind the clouds. It appears to be moving, yet all we can see is the shadow cast on the clouds and nothing more. Some are convinced we're dealing with a giant. Some also think it's a sea creature, whereas there are also some who believe that it's nothing more than an alien ship. Personally, I'm not sure what to make of this one. Are you? This bird clearly has an eye for design, as the makeover is quite striking. Parrots are known for their intelligence and playful nature, but this one seems to have taken it to the next level. After a little reading around, it turns out the bird felt the man's head was bare and not good looking. It then took upon itself to decorate it. Apparently birds only do this with someone they feel is one of them. In human language, this is just like saying, "I love you, and boy would I give you anything for Pickles, my orange cat, to show this level of affection to me." Next, we have another pair of Bigfoot enthusiasts who set out one night into the well-known Bigfoot hotspots. Given the time that they were going out of their exploration, they brought a heat sensor along. There was no way Bigfoot was going to escape their sight. And surely enough, while they were out there, they caught a heat signature on their device. Soon after, they noticed a pair of glowing eyes in the distance, seemingly stalking them from afar. The enthusiasts firmly believed that those bright eyes belonged to a Bigfoot. Unfortunately, the creature fled before they could get good footage, leaving them with just the image of the glowing eyes. But what do you think? Could that really have been a Bigfoot, or is it something else entirely? Share your thoughts. Horses have played a vital role in shaping history. Their grace, strength, and versatility make them unique among animals. Draft horses in particular are the epitome of raw power and endurance. These massive, muscular beasts are often referred to as draft horses. Despite their imposing size, draft horses are known for their calm and patient demeanor, making them invaluable in various tasks throughout history. They've been the backbone of agriculture, pulling heavy plows through fields and hauling logs in deep forests. Their strength has been harnessed for construction, helping to build roads and railways in the days before modern machinery. Draft horses have also been indispensable in warfare. They were used to carry knights in full armor during medieval times, and later they pulled artillery and supply wagons across battlefields. Their ability to work in harsh conditions, whether trudging through mud or snow, make them a key asset in military campaigns. But beyond their utilitarian roles, draft horses are celebrated in cultures around the world. They're often featured in festivals and parades, their grandeur and power on full display. Breeds like the Shire, Clydesdale, and Percheron are particularly famous, not just for their size, but for their noble appearance and history. In today's world, while modern technology has replaced many of the tasks draft horses once performed, these majestic animals continue to be cherished. They're often seen in shows where their strength and beauty are admired, and in some rural areas they still perform the tasks they've done for centuries. The clip you're seeing was allegedly recorded in Russia. It shows a ball of light emerging from the clouds. Once this large energy ball, at least I think that's what it is, goes out of sight, a couple of smaller energy balls follows it out of sight. Naturally, this clip had many talking. Some suspected that it might be an alien ship whose cloaking abilities may have just aided it as it emerged from the cloud. Others thought that the whole thing was edited to make it look like that and spread alien propaganda. You've seen the clip yourself, so what do you think? Now let's take a look at a very controversial subject. We all know that Joe Biden is the President of the United States. However, recently there have been things about the president that don't quite add up. In the video, a man is standing on a stage with other dignitaries behind him, including the president. The man turns his back and shakes everyone's hand, but something unusual happens. The president goes in for another handshake, but the man does not respond, leaving him looking confused. Many people are saying that President Biden might have dementia, which could explain his behavior in this instance. Some also think he's a clone that's not exactly normal. What do you guys think? Say goodbye to having fake teeth after losing your natural ones. Finally, I can have new teeth. Wow, I didn't mean to say that out loud. Pretend you didn't hear that. Scientists have developed a groundbreaking tooth regrowth medicine, the first of its kind. This innovative treatment is set to be tested in September 2024 at Kyoto University Hospital. The medicine will first be tested on healthy individuals, followed by patients with a congenital tooth deficiency to confirm its safety and effectiveness, with the goal of marketing it by 2030. It works by deactivating the USAG1 protein to enable tooth growth. This treatment could benefit people with congenital tooth absence as well as those who have lost teeth due to cavities or injuries. I'm not going to pretend to fully understand the exact science behind it, but imagine the possibility of regrowing your own teeth instead of relying on implants or dentures. This breakthrough would revolutionize dental care and improve the quality of life for countless people. I don't know about you, but I can't wait for this to be fully out. 2030 all of a sudden feels too far, and before you conclude, this has nothing to do with my accidental spill of too much info at the beginning of this clip. Thank you very much, and with that, we move on to the next clip. A woman shared a chilling encounter she experienced while standing outside on her gazebo one night. She admits she almost didn't believe it herself had it not been for the security camera footage that captured her reaction. Let's take a look. There she was, standing on the gazebo, casually typing away on her phone while her dog fetched a ball that she'd just thrown. Everything seemed perfectly normal until it wasn't. Suddenly, she turns around sharply and lets out a scream, her face visibly alarmed. According to her, the reason for her startled reaction was that she felt a tap on her shoulder, followed by a voice that sent chills down her spine. Strangely, the footage doesn't capture any visible figure or presence, yet a terrified response feels unmistakably real. What are your thoughts on this alleged encounter? What would you do if you found a child walking alone late at night? While you think of your answer, watch this.
Tu mamá, mija, tu mamá. Los brazos, mira los brazos. Pero no es normal, viejo, no es normal, no es normal. Viejo, míralo.
Two friends on a late-night bike ride came across a girl walking alone in the middle of the road. She was neatly dressed, with her black hair tied in a ponytail, and didn't appear to be homeless or in distress, yet something felt off. She was completely unresponsive to the men's attempts to speak with her. She just stared at them, and when they talked, she silently turned and continued walking. Strangely, the girl seemed to be glowing in the dark. Yes, glowing. One of the men got off his bike and approached her, but his friend who was filming urged him not to. The footage cuts off at that point, leaving everyone to wonder who or what was this girl. Some people speculate she could have been sleepwalking, but that doesn't explain the eerie glow. Humans don't naturally glow after all. Others believe she could be a spirit or something supernatural, considering how unusual the encounter was. What would you have done in this situation? Would you have approached the glowing child or let her walk on into the night? It'd be interesting to hear your perspective, unless, of course, you don't think this is authentic and the glow was placed into the clip digitally. Anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Tu mamá, mija, tu mamá. Los brazos, mira los brazos. Pero no es normal, viejo, no es normal, no es normal. Viejo, míralo.
Have you ever heard of the bleeding tree? This phenomenon has been observed in various parts of the world where people cut into trees and instead of the usual white or clear sap, a crimson fluid gushes out resembling a murder scene. In some cultures, these bleeding trees are considered omens or spiritual signs of doom. After consulting with Julius, our resident science whiz, I learned a few things. The bloodwood tree, native to Australia and belonging to the genus Corymbia, is notable for its distinctive red sap. This resembles blood and seeps from the tree when the bark is damaged. The sap has traditional uses in indigenous medicine for its antiseptic properties, treating wounds and infections. Bloodwood trees are hardy, often thriving in poor soils and arid conditions, and they can grow up to 20 meters tall. The wood is dense and durable, making it valuable for construction and crafting. Additionally, the tree's flowers provide nectar that's essential for many native Australian animals, including birds and insects. So while this looks creepy and seems like something we should avoid, it turns out it has a lot of great uses. The true definition of not everything is what it seems, or never judge a book by its cover, or in this case, a tree by its sap. This homeless man was seen throwing rocks and stones onto the road, causing chaos for drivers. As a result, a motorcyclist lost control and slid off the road. Sparks flew from the motorcycle as it scraped along the tarred road. Fortunately, the rider was not seriously injured and managed to stand up. But that wasn't the end of the trouble. Several cars were also affected, with some experiencing flat tires. Thankfully, no one was seriously hurt. Oddly enough, the homeless man responsible for the incident was not found, and there has been no official word on the matter so far. This is such a strange situation. What do you think should be done to prevent incidents like this in the future?
Onur abi. Onur. Niye beyaz abi? Ekrana bak Onur. Allahümme salli.
Jinn are often described as elusive and mystical creatures in various traditions, particularly in Middle Eastern folklore. They're sometimes seen as spirits or demons possessing powers beyond human comprehension. In this particular incident, a group of men were out one night when they noticed something peculiar in the darkness, a floating white head with eerie glowing eyes and flowing white hair. While the men insist this encounter was legitimate, others are more skeptical, suggesting it could be a prank or hoax. The head does resemble a mask, but what do you guys think?
Onur abi. Onur. Niye beyaz abi? Ekrana bak Onur. Allahümme salli.
Come on, Bruce.
What is the point of going for a walk in the middle of the night? Can someone tell me? You'd think with all the strange things we hear, people would stop because it's clearly dangerous, but no. A woman recently posted this bizarre footage she'd taken while walking her dog. In the clip, she's behind the camera, filming the path as they stroll through the wooded area. All seems quiet until, out of nowhere, her dog starts acting strange. It refuses to move forward, staring off to the side, clearly distressed. Despite this, she tries to urge the dog to continue. Later, when she got home and reviewed the footage, she noticed something chilling. There on the side of the path was a very tall, dark figure with an unnervingly pale face staring directly at her. She believes the dog might have either spotted or sensed the figure, and that was the reason it was acting out of character. Luckily for her, she made it home safely. It's hard to say what the figure was, but some think it's a creature of the night. Some, including my team members, think the whole thing was set up. For now, we can only speculate, as we will never know the truth. Whatever the case, sometimes it's best to trust your dog's instincts. What do you think it could have been?
Come on, Bruce. Sit.
A subscriber sent this in, and it's quite intriguing. They discovered a strange giant footprint in Hawaii at a place called Koala Ranch. Yes, those are allegedly actual footprints, and they belong to something large and ginormous. It has 3 distinctive claws. The fact that it's ginormous and has 3 toes has brought to mind everyone's favorite reptile, Godzilla. Is this real? Well, if you were to ask me, I'd say no, but there are some who believe it is. I'm not the only skeptic out there, however. Someone even stated that this had to have been taken from the set of Godzilla in 1998. What do you guys think? For this one, we move off the world to another planet in our solar system, Jupiter. What you're seeing on your screen is no fairy tale, it's very real. It was captured on the planet Jupiter. Once it went live, everyone had questions. What's the green light in the atmosphere? Some assumed it was green men, others thought it was a sign of life on our planet. If you know anything about our world, then you know this went viral. Others thought it was a sign of life on the planet. If you know anything about our world, then you know this went viral. After what had happened, NASA had to come out to clarify. According to them, the green light is due to the lightning in clouds containing a solution of ammonia and water. On the Earth, lightning occurs in clouds containing water vapors, but on Jupiter, it happens due to ammonia and water solution. Sounds plausible, scientific, and honest. I believed it, but not some members of my team. They think NASA may have just given us the explanation because they accidentally made the picture public and didn't want the rest of us to know there's life out there. What do you guys think? So someone sent this in stating that the helicopter you're seeing in the clip is actually releasing genetically modified mosquitoes into the neighborhood. Now, if I'm to guess where the alleged location for this is, I would say Florida, since that's a recent location where genetically modified mosquitoes are being released. Does that mean the video is legit then? Well, after a lot of research and scrutiny at our end, we don't think so. While it's true that mosquitoes are being released in Florida for a disease control program, the mosquitoes are typically packed in special containers that can be released in a controlled manner, and not helicopters like seen in the video. Some have also suggested Bill Gates is behind the initiative for his selfish reasons, but data from our research shows that Bill Gates isn't funding this project locally. Julius thinks that what we are seeing from the chopper is actually smoke that might be related to a gender reveal celebration. I'm tempted to agree with Julius on this one, but what if that's exactly what they want us to think? It's hard to trust anyone and anything these days, including your very own thoughts. This next footage appears to be one of the closest encounters with a UFO ever captured. It was taken by a passenger aboard a plane on their way to Colombia, and the sighting itself occurred in Colombia airspace. The passenger was simply recording the beautiful, expansive clouds outside the window when out of nowhere, a diamond-shaped UFO came into view, gliding through the sky. The craft's distinct shape and the way it moved left the man stunned. This sighting is remarkable not just for the proximity of the craft, but also because it occurred in broad daylight. On October the 8th, during a lively pumpkin festival, crowds gathered to witness a spectacular event. The drop of a giant pumpkin from 100 feet above ground into a pool of water. Amidst the excitement, someone captured something extraordinary on camera. As the massive pumpkin crashes into the water, a peculiar object zips by in the sky. It was a disc-shaped object, prompting the owner of the footage to believe they'd captured a UFO on camera. However, skeptics had other ideas. Some suggested it was merely a bird, though others argued that the object's speed was far too great for a bird. Another commenter proposed that it might have been a drone flying overhead. But what do you think? Could this be an unidentified flying object, or is there a more mundane explanation? I don't know what's going on out there in the heavens, but there must be something weird. In Turkey, instead of rain, snow, or hail, locals saw round pearls falling from the sky. Once it was all over, people came out of their homes and were found on the streets gathering these tiny white pearls. That's the alleged story, but it just didn't add up. I'm not trying to be skeptical, but if it rained these pearls even for a few seconds, say 10 seconds, there would be more of these pearls on the ground than we're seeing in the clips. If that were the case, these pearls would have been everywhere and covered almost every space of that town, but we only see a few of them being gathered by the individuals in the clip. I'm not the most analytical, but this discrepancy had me digging around and I came across a contradictory story. Some individuals who had commented on posts of the clip made these comments. According to these guys and many more, what we are seeing on our screens aren't pearls but rather plastic pellets that have possibly fallen or split from a truck. It was probably intended for production and somehow found its way to these individuals who then filmed themselves collecting it. This seems a tad more logical, but if that's the case, they're handling some really toxic stuff and need to be careful. Why am I even saying that as though they can hear me? Anyway, what do you guys think? Could there have really been a rain of pearls, or did someone find this clip of these humble folks collecting these plastic pellets and decide to start a controversy? Let us know what you think in the comments. A property owner was jolted awake one night by strange noises coming from his backyard, which backed onto a dense forest. Curious and unsettled, he decided to investigate, grabbing his camera as he stepped outside.
I'm hearing the things in my woods again. I've been hearing the sounds in the back of my woods. The heck is that? Oh my god!
At first, he saw nothing. The odd appeared still in the eerie darkness. He was about to give up, thinking the noises had been nothing more than a passing animal or the wind, when something in the grass caught his eye. There, crouched low, was a creature unlike anything he'd ever seen. Its shoulders looked somewhat human, but its neck, long and crooked and unnervingly skinny, was far from normal. This creature's eyes glowed intensely in the dark, radiating an unnatural light that pierced the shadows. As he stared, he couldn't shake the feeling that this was no animal, nor anything remotely human. I mean, looking at the clip, it definitely doesn't look ordinary. It gives me the same vibe or feeling those alleged rake clips give. Is it authentic, though? That's a whole conversation on its own. Anyway, what do you think?
I'm hearing the things in my woods again. I've been hearing the sounds in the back of my woods. The heck is that? Oh my god!
Trees are living things, and while we know they grow and change over time, walking has never been part of their typical behavior until now, apparently. Take a look at these clips. Multiple trees have been caught on camera moving, not just swaying with the wind, but literally shifting from place to place. It almost seems unreal. Just look at that. Some skeptics claim this might be an illusion caused by camera angles or environmental factors like strong winds, but others believe there's something stranger at play. There are also some who laugh at these clips, claiming there's no way such a thing could be real. So what do you think the situation is currently? Could it be a natural phenomenon we've yet to understand, or perhaps some kind of trickery? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Bizarre, right? When I first saw this clip, I was wondering what exactly I was looking at. In the clip, we see a young lady exploring a location that seems to have these humanoids that could pass for humans. The major disqualifying factor is those blue mechanical setups that take up space where their ears and the back of their heads should be. It gives them this robo look, coupled with the way their eyes move and their mannerisms. When I first saw this, I was convinced there was some new breed of robots powered by AI. In fact, I was so impressed by the realism that I started showing to others in my team. They shared my opinions until my video editor saw them. He laughed a bit and told me those are actually humans in costumes for a movie promo. The movie came out last year and it's titled The Creator. It's about an AI and the human race, which is why they look like that. It all made sense after that explanation, and I must say that I've added the movie to my bucket list. What I'm most thankful for is the fact that I didn't show it to Julius first. I can already hear his skeptical laugh with his disapproving gaze. You know what? Let's move on to the next clip. Next, we've got a rather interesting video that was recorded by a family while out on their Sunday drive. Enjoy. Now, you don't need me to do a lot of commentary on this one because I'm guessing you already know what you're looking at. This is one of the few Bigfoot clips that the community accepts wholeheartedly as being true and real. The big guy seems to be out on his own enjoying his time in the field. He's unaware he's being filmed, which is a good thing as it allows us to enjoy its natural behavior and gait. I do wish the clip was a bit up close so we could see more of its features, but you can't always get everything you want, right? At least this clip isn't overly blurry and shaky as some of the other alleged ones are. Maybe we should send Aaron to the same area to bring us her own footage. What do you guys think? This image, taken in 2020 by a man hiking with his dog in Oklahoma, captures something unsettling. It is a decayed creature's head with part of its mouth gone, revealing its powerful jaws. At first glance, many might think it's the remains of a large dog, but there's something about the structure that has raised doubts. Some members of the paranormal community are convinced that this is no ordinary animal. They speculate that the head belongs to something far more mysterious, possibly a Bigfoot or the infamous Dogman. The jaws are unusually strong-looking, and the decayed appearance makes it hard to identify what the creature once was. Could this be a long-lost creature or something stranger, or is it just a misidentified animal? Speaking of misidentified animals, a bulldog owner thinks it might just be a bulldog, but then again, that's just speculation. What do you guys think? Black magic and voodoo have always been curious and controversial practices, often associated with rituals that raise many questions. When I first saw this clip, I couldn't help but wonder if it was connected to voodoo or black magic. The video starts off looking like someone preparing meat to cook. After adding spices, they placed two dolls in red dresses on the meat. Then they cut something else and tied the dolls together, securing them into the meat with more spices. After that, the person wraps the meat with a red rope, covers it in a red cloth, and ties it again. The meat is then placed in a cooking tray surrounded by vegetables, and here's the unsettling part. Candles are placed all around the tray on the floor. What could this mean? It feels like a ritual, but whether it's related to voodoo or something else entirely is unclear. In many cultures, red is a color linked to power, blood, or intense emotions like love and rage. And dolls, especially in voodoo, are often used symbolically. Could this be some sort of ritual for binding, protection, or harm? What do you think is the purpose behind this bizarre act? Could anyone with experience in this share them with us? While I don't recommend touching colorful creatures in the ocean, what the individual in the next clip did is also something I don't recommend at all. So, the clip opens up with someone walking along the corridors of a home. The person looks up and sees a strange being standing on one of the structures of the place. Instead of leaving and getting safely inside, the person approaches the being for a clearer view and capture. The result is a bit of video, yes, but after a few seconds, whatever it is that he or she was filming disappears and leaves him or her alone. The big question is, what if that being decided to harm or hurt the individual? How would he have escaped and been safe? Speaking of the being, what do you think we're dealing with here? When I first saw this footage, I had to do a double take. Just look at this bird swimming under the sea. It's moving so effortlessly and quickly that it almost seems too impressive to be real. For a moment, I thought this had to be some kind of fake, but then I did some research. This, my friends, is a puffin bird. Yes, the same beautiful bird we often see perched on cliffs or waddling along the shore. But they can also swim. Watching it glide through the water with such grace is truly something to behold. Who knew these little guys were such skilled swimmers? What's fascinating is the puffins are not just dabbling on the surface like many birds, they're actually diving deep, using their wings to fly underwater in search of fish. They can go as deep as 200 feet and stay underwater for up to a minute. It's like they have a whole second life beneath the waves that most of us never get to see. Moving on to UFOs, there are indeed other sources of evidence that suggest these phenomena are very real. Take, for instance, the fragments that have been recovered from alleged UFO crash landing sites. When these fragments are examined by experts, they found an unusually high percentage of magnesium. This is a material that, while present on Earth, is extremely rare in such high concentrations. What makes this even more intriguing is the speculation surrounding these materials. Some researchers believe that the unique composition of these fragments could be linked to gravity manipulation, possibly explaining how these crafts are able to move at such incredible speeds and defy known laws of physics. It's been a while, but I've got a bonus segment for you. You know, the part where you get the chance to tell me something unique about what's on your screen, and we send you a shout out at the end of the month. Yeah, that one. Do you know what this is? Can you tell if it's real or not? If it's real, can you tell me exactly what it is and one interesting fact about it? Start your response in the comments section with the word bonus, and I'll highlight the best answers at the end of the month. Good luck and all the best. What are we looking at here? It's one of the most dangerous creatures lurking in the ocean's depths, the box jellyfish. At first glance, it might seem almost ethereal with its transparent, almost ghost-like appearance, and a soft glow that gives it an angelic, otherworldly beauty. But don't let its delicate appearance fool you. This is one of the deadliest creatures in the sea. The box jellyfish is known for its venomous tentacles, which can deliver a sting potent enough to cause excruciating pain, heart failure, and, in some cases, death. What makes this creature even more terrifying is its almost invisible nature. Its translucent body makes it nearly impossible to spot in the water, turning a peaceful swim into a potentially deadly encounter. Imagine being in the water and suddenly feeling a searing pain without even seeing what caused it. That's the danger of the box jellyfish, silent, unseen, and lethal. So watch out for these guys when you're out on a swim. On August the 5th, 2024, near Lake Arrowhead, California, something extraordinary unfolded in the skies. A witness captured a remarkable sight, what appeared to be an unidentified aerial phenomenon silently hovering over the waters of the Southern California lake area. This glowing object was no ordinary star. It was much larger and brighter, hanging in the sky with an almost otherworldly presence. Unlike the usual twinkling stars, this UAP remained steady, There was no sound, no sudden movements, just a mysterious luminous object suspended in the sky. With no official explanation, this eerie encounter has added another layer to the ever-growing list of unexplained events that continue to baffle both skeptics and believers alike. While you think about that, this blurry video was shared by a homeowner who was reviewing his Ring camera footage. It was a typical and usual activity for him, only this time he would find something unusual. In the footage, an odd figure or object can be seen flying by. It's hard to make out exactly what it is, but its movements don't match anything typical like a bird, plane, or drone. The object appears to zip across the screen quickly before vanishing into the distance. The homeowner insists the footage is not edited or manipulated in any way, but he admits that he has no idea what he captured. With footage this unclear, it's always tough to say for sure what we are seeing, but it raises questions about the many unexplained objects that people catch on their cameras. Some who've seen the clip speculate that it could be a UFO or some form of extraterrestrial technology, while others think it might be a strange atmospheric phenomenon. You've seen the clip as well, so what do you think this could be? Some people have extraordinary body features, but what we are looking at here seems almost unbelievable. In the footage, someone is pulling and stretching the skin on their leg like it's elastic, almost like rubber. It's hard to believe that this is even possible. However, there are skin conditions that can explain this. Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, or EDS for short, is one example. It's a rare genetic disorder that affects connective tissues, making the skin super stretchy and fragile. Among other symptoms, however, the extreme elasticity in this video makes it look almost like silicone or synthetic material. Anyway, what are your thoughts on it? This next one is highly controversial and has sparked endless debates online. The footage is of US President Joe Biden speaking during an event. As he raises his hands, something strange appears under the sleeve of his coat and then quickly vanishes. Take a closer look at it. Now, there's a lot of opinions all over the place on this one. Some people insist it looks like a snake or a lizard, sparkling wild theories about reptilian beings. Others have suggested it could be a rosary or some religious artifact slipping out of view. Some dismiss it entirely, claiming the footage is fake or manipulated. On the other hand, some think it's just a simple bracelet or watch, maybe even the edge of a microphone wire strangely catching the light. What do you think it could be? Speaking of alien ships, this next capture is one that's allegedly from Mars. If you pay attention to the image, you'll see that there's a humanoid creature standing and staring in the direction of the camera. If you did basic science at school, then you know that the red planet has been officially stated to be without life. Once in a while, however, images like this pop up speculating that the red planet does indeed have life on it and our governments are keeping it under wraps. The situation isn't too surprising because Mars, our captivating neighbor, has always been a source of wonder and speculation. Known as the Red Planet because of its striking reddish hue, Mars intrigues both scientists and dreamers alike. This mysterious world has its fair share of secrets, with some aspects that continue to puzzle researchers. Take water on Mars, for example. Though today's Mars is a cold, dry desert, evidence suggests that it wasn't always this way. Ancient river valleys and lake beds hint at a time when water flowed freely across the surface. This discovery is huge because it opens up the possibility that Mars might have once been warm and wet enough to support life. And then there are Mars' two moons, Phobos and Deimos, which are anything but ordinary. With their odd shapes and the fact that Phobos is slowly spiraling toward the planet, there's a lot to wonder about their origins. Mars' thin atmosphere, mostly made of carbon dioxide, adds another layer of intrigue. It's too thin to support liquid water for long, but thick enough to stir up massive dust storms. Finally, the hunt for life on Mars has been relentless. From the Viking missions in the 70s to the latest rovers, we found clues like organic molecules. But the definitive proof of life remains elusive. So yeah, I did digress, but what do you guys think? Does the planet indeed have aliens on it, or are we just seeing things that aren't there? Share your thoughts in the comments section. While you share your thoughts on that, we have another intriguing piece of footage that is people talking about cloaked objects in the sky. Take a look. In the bright blue sky, there's this odd cloud formation. At first glance, it seems just like any other cloud, but something about it looks, well, off. Its shape is too precise, too deliberate. Some are suggesting that it's not a cloud at all, but a cloaked object, something trying to blend in with the atmosphere. It's hard to dismiss when you really look at it. Could this be a UFO using advanced cloaking technology, or is it just an unusual cloud formation? Aaron's money is on the latter. What about you? A man was out one night putting something into his car when his security camera captured something chilling. Take a look. Just there behind the car in the darkness, a large, ghostly figure appears to be moving. You can see the man noticing it too as his eyes follow the movement of the entity passing by. To confirm what he saw, the man reviewed the security footage, and there it was again. The figure, ghostly and unsettling, moves in the shadows behind the car. Now the question he keeps asking is, what was that figure? Was it a ghost or perhaps some other sort of entity just passing by? This footage shows something truly unusual, a glowing figure standing at the corner of a building captured by a local resident. But take a closer look. This isn't just any normal human figure. The entity has a distinct human-like shape, but it's glowing almost like it's emitting its own light. Who or what could this be? The eerie light it emits seems to defy the laws of nature, leaving many wonder if what we're looking at is something beyond our understanding. Some speculate that these glowing entities could be visitors from another dimension, beings that exist on a different plane of reality but occasionally slip into ours. Others suggest that this might be some form of advanced technology, perhaps a hologram or even a being made of pure energy. There are also those who believe that such entities are manifestations of spirits, their ethereal glow a sign of their presence among the living. Despite the numerous theories, one thing is certain: this isn't something you see every day. The mystery only deepens when you consider that similar sightings have been reported in various cultures around the world, often associated with sacred or haunted locations. Could this glowing figure be a guardian of some ancient secret, or is it simply an unexplained natural phenomenon? One stormy night in Mexico, as lightning flashed across the sky and rain seemed imminent, a resident decided to capture the dramatic scene on camera. As he filmed the turbulent sky, something strange appeared in the footage. A rectangular-shaped craft was seen moving steadily across the night sky. It had the sleek, angular look of a vehicle, but unlike anything you'd expect to see flying above. Last time I checked, flying cars were still in the prototype stage, so what exactly is going on here? Could this be some advanced technology we're unaware of, or perhaps an extraterrestrial craft making a rare appearance? You tell me. A man lived in a house that he believed to be haunted, having experienced many strange sightings over the years. But one day, something truly unsettling happened. As he arrived home and looked through the metal gate leading to his front door, he saw what appeared to be a hand resting behind the door inside the house. Startled, he rushed in, expecting to find someone, maybe an intruder, or worse yet, confirmation of the ghostly presence he'd always suspected. He flung the door open, but there was no one there. The house was empty, and he was completely alone. The hand had vanished without a trace. What could you have done, assuming this is very real and authentic, of course? This video was taken in India and shows a shocking incident during the Trisapuram festival. In this annual celebration, elephants are decorated and trained to parade through the streets. However, things took a wild turn, this time as the elephants went on a rampage, injuring 24 people. Now, elephants are incredibly massive and powerful creatures. While they can be trained, the process of taming these animals is often harsh and controversial. In many cases, these animals are subjected to beatings to force them into submission before being trained to perform. It seems nature decided to take its course this time. The elephants broke free from their constraints and charged into the crowd, hurtling people aside and creating chaos. This raises serious concerns about using wild animals for festivals and public displays. Was this incident inevitable, given the way these creatures are treated? Is it time to rethink how we interact with animals in such events? In my opinion, this should never have happened in the first place. If you're going to treat animals cruelly just for human enjoyment, then you should expect the consequences. Karma, as they say, is a And with that, we end today's episode. Thank you for staying with us. Before you go, are there clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't? Well, the good news is you can share them with us and we'll post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have. Share this video with someone you love and I will see you in the next one.